You know something? What you said? You said someone that could paint stories. I was watching Big Sean's Tiny Desk performance.
Yeah.
It was like I was thinking, after seeing it, because I didn't realize how many Big Sean songs I actually know. Um, this whole the big three diss from Kendrick. Like, why isn't Big Sean naturally associated in that group?
I'll tell you
The
why.
the because he can lyrically go with any of those folks.
And
But
remember the first batch of, the first time Kendrick went crazy on everybody, it was on a Big Sean song. It was the Control verse.
yeah,
Right, 100%.
So he gets respect by all of all the people on that list. I feel like
yeah,
they know what's up with him. I feel
but he's not part of the big.
like the
Big
big
three.
three
The
The
conversation.
big three that most people talk about. I think people, they base his, I guess, level on song choice that he's put out, like and they take it as a joke almost. I don't know why people do that. Like, nigga, like people like Ludacris, Busta, who are more like comical. They don't put them in their like top lyricist lists, but them niggas could spit, bro. And I think they do that with Big Sean too, for some reason.
Yeah.
For some of his song choices.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
You know
Yeah,
what I
like
mean?
that. Yeah, like he is like like he got to a. I mean, in order for him to be successful, he had to make hit records. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
Yeah.
and he found a formula. Like he just found a way to balance it. Like he's still a true artist, but
Right.
he makes sure that he has a couple of hit records on every project that he drops. Like at this point, like he's gonna have some singles that are
Yeah.
gonna be mainstream, and all of them do. All of the guys do. I mean, Drake is the most mainstream artist out of all of them. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, his music is like permeated culture so much that he's not even his novelty songs are not looked at like novelty songs. It's just Drake. Like there's the Drake stimulus. Like when Drake drops, it's just like it's Drake, so it's gonna go.
Right.
But yeah, Big Sean is not that all the way across the board, because more so I just feel like he had to work. You know what I'm saying? He had to work. You know what I mean? To really to build himself up to the point to the actual artist he is. But when you look at the charts and when you look at everything, yeah, he's in the conversation.
Yeah,
you know what
absolutely.
I'm saying? But it's just about popularity and just some people. I mean, Drake is just Drake. You know what I mean? Like, and then the fact that Kendrick is in the conversation too is because of how bold of the statements that he's made in his music. He put himself in the conversation. And then Cole, same thing, similar to Big Sean, like rapping from the beginning, but figured out, I gotta make some hit records.
Yeah.
But I think the two things that make the difference, the real difference maker, I feel like is there's a mystique with a J.Cole and there's a mystique with the Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah.
Like and that's like a like an old school artist type thing, like where there's just this mystique about them. Like you don't see them out and about all over the place. They're not doing a bunch of interviews. They're not like when they first came out, they kind of had to, but now you don't really see them out like that. Even Drake too, but Drake just puts out so much fucking content. Like it feels like he's always there.
Yeah.
And Big Sean, he's just a solid, like, viable artist. You know what I'm saying? Like he's just, you kind of just look at him just like he's always gonna be there. He's always gonna make dope records, but it doesn't ever feel like it's like he's making a big statement when he drops. You just kind of feel like, oh, Sean's here again, and it's gonna be dope. You just it's like in the NBA, like that player that just always drops fucking 20, and you know he's gonna drop 20.
Yeah.
But he's just not you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
you don't look at him, you don't view him as a superstar, but he's dropping 20.
Consistent.
He got 20 and 5 and 6 consistently. Why don't you talk about them?
That's what I was saying.
Yeah, it's I get it though. I don't know. It's hard to put a finger on it, but those are some of the things that
it is
that I think.
It's just weird because some people just discredit people. Like, oh, they started dating this person. Now they consider them corny or something. It's just something like that. I don't know what it is, but people just tend to do that shit. But Big Sean could spit, bro.
I mean, the other thing too, not to cut you off, is just narrative too. Like, that's the last thing I'll say is like, once a statement is made, like in the media, sometimes it becomes a narrative that people just run with without even like. With no validation, with no thought. Like, once that has been said, now people just say that shit. I feel like, too. Like, people that don't really even listen to the music, like the casual fan will just say, Kendrick, Cole, and Drake. You know what I'm saying? Like, without even thinking. You know what I mean? They're not really listening to the music heavy like that. Right. So that's the other thing, too. Narratives get created. And nowadays, people just run with them shits.
Right.
Let's not forget Wale, too. But, yeah, that's another conversation.
Wale can spit, too. He's not my favorite artist. But,
just saying.
Wale, he's a lyricist, man.
That's all.
Yeah, he can rap with all of them.
Yeah. Absolutely. And he has been.
And they're from the same class, and they all rock with each other, too,
Well, thank you for your feedback on that because, it was just, like I said, it was a great Tiny Desk performance, and it had me just kind of thinking